Good morning and welcome back to the Upland Forum, where we spotlight leaders, creators, and innovators who are always shaping our business and community across our region. So today we are talking about branding, we're going to talk about identity, and we're going to talk about the power of creative leadership. So before we bring on today's guest, ask yourself this question. Does your brand truly reflect who you are, or are you blending in with everyone else? Join me today. Joining me today is Alex Reyes, founder of Alex Reyes Ink, and that's Ink, I-N-K. She works with businesses and leaders to bring clarity to their message and confidence to their presentation. So let's bring her on. Let's talk about it. Let's get to the many questions I have for her for today. Welcome, Alex. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate it. And this is a very good topic, and I want to make sure that folks get an opportunity, especially business owners, that get to connect with us today to realize that there's more to branding than just a logo, more than just a website, more than just social media. There's more to it than that. So what do you say we get started?
Let's get started.
All right. So Alex, tell us about your journey. What led you to start Alex Reyes, and I say Ink with INK, folks, for clarity. So
Well, so far it's been a short journey, but it's been a good journey. I previously had another business doing the same thing, and I had that for about 20 years, and then me and my partner didn't work out. We went our own ways, our separate ways, and I started Alex Reyes Ink. It's what I knew. I went to school for color design, textile, so I've been able to use my skills in college and past teachings to incorporate in what I do today. I don't get to use it as much as I'd like to, but it does help in what I do. And when I sit down with people and we figure out what garments they're going to use, what colors we're using, what style and brand they're going after.
That's awesome, and I love to always hear that too. And I think when did you realize branding was more than just about visuals?
Oh, I didn't know that it wasn't. Honestly, I am a very eclectic person. I love color. I see things, I think, outside the box. And so when someone comes to me that doesn't have my expertise or didn't go to school for color, it's like my favorite thing. I get to share with kids all the time. I went to school to learn about color, and and along with that, design and layout, and that's not all I do. That's about 50% of what I do, but the rest is I'm putting quotes together, I'm doing estimates, I'm shaking hands, I have to meet people. I was done about 15 years ago cold calling and knocking on doors. So I figured, networking's fun, and I get to meet people, and I truly get to learn about them and their brand or their business, and we get to go from there. If they decide to work with me on, and I like to tell people, like, I help with marketing, but the physical part of it, not the digital. You're on the digital end. I'm on the
Right.
physical end with promotional apparel, banners, signs. I help you stand out while people are walking by.
And you know what? And that's part of the other reason I definitely wanted to connect with you. Not only are you you're an incredible person since we met. I mean, you're always so pro helping people, always above and beyond. And I want to make sure that folks get an opportunity to get to see that side of you that a lot of folks outside of chambers or different things that don't know, who are actually business owners. So answer me this. So what separates a strong brand from one that just struggles, in your opinion, from what you've seen?
You know, so there's two ways to look at this. Marketing your brand and sticking with it, right? Like sticking with the logo, like Coca-Cola, right? They have their old school logo, but they also have a couple other different logos that they share when it comes to branding. So you always want to keep your old school logo, I call it, but we can freshen it up as time goes by. It's good to keep up with the times. It is good to give a refresh to your brand, and maybe, and when I say that, maybe like keep the logo but change the color. Keep the logo but add something to it, because you want people to remember your company and your business when they see your logo. So if they see your logo and it was red, but then they see your logo and now it's green, they still know your logo. They still know
Right.
your brand, right? So I encourage people to to keep what they have, but maybe we can just freshen it up. When you want other logos and designs, that's just designs. You have designs. That's not your brand logo, and it's okay to have designs too. So that, and everybody, because we're artists, right? We're designers, we're creators. Everybody has their own opinion on that. For me,
Sure.
I love to see a business that's been around for 20, 30 years still have their logo, but they're okay with like doing some tweaks. There are some people that are not okay with that, and they just keep going with their old logo, and I just try and convince them, why don't we just freshen it up a little?
And you know what? And that's key, because we get so rooted on this is mine, this is this and that, including when you're building websites. And that's one of the things that always comes up in conversations with clients. It's not about you. It's about the clients you're trying to capture, right? You may like all this, crazy color palette or whatever, but that's not going to appeal to the people that you're going after. It's going to be a turnoff. And I think that mindset is actually what prevents a lot of business owners from moving forward, because let's admit it, we're all afraid of change, right? You're so used to seeing this one way, that all of a sudden you're going to tweak this. You're going to get people in panic mode. I went through that. I mean, coming up with my logo and the same thing. So I know exactly where you're at with it, But what would you say though, for somebody that feels really overwhelmed? How do you help them clarify their message, especially when they're in that state of being overwhelmed?
Oh, it can be overwhelming, but I put together branding guides, and a branding guide kind of gives you a map of the fonts you use, the color, like Pantones that you use, um, what you use when you're promoting. Like if like right now I'm working with they're in the food industry, right? And they're marketing gelato, and they're marketing, we're doing oh gosh, it's a coffee, it's a Vietnamese coffee, and they're so overwhelmed, right? So I put together a branding guide, and I'm like, look, when you create, because they like to create too, but they show me what they have, and I love that too. Like people, they use whatever tools they have to design their brand or whatever. People are using AI, people are using Canva, and they'll create their brand because they can get it out, right? And then they'll show me what they came up with, and then I'll help them. I can't use those files, unfortunately, when it comes to production on garments. But I can redo the whole logo and vectorize it based on what they show me. So I help them and I guide them, and I say, look, you've got this bottle, and this bottle. You're using different fonts on all of them. This purple's darker than this one, So how we bring it back is I do a branding guide for them. We put, this is the gold that you use, this is the purple that you use, these are the fonts that you use, and you can update that branding logo anytime you want to, but it helps bring you back, and it helps you see, oh, if I use the same color or the same fonts, it looks like we're a business. We're doing well, and we're matching our purples, we're matching our golds. So whatever product they're coming out with, now the labels are looking sync. It might be, I ice cream or coffee or whatever, but we're using the same colors and the same and the same fonts. And a lot of people don't realize that it doesn't have to look the same, but if you use the same fonts and the same colors and other things, it does look like it's branded and then it's together and that you know what you're doing, and it's easy to do. So I'm really good at that, to give them a map to guide them. Stick to this and you'll look good.
And you know what? That's actually the first time I've ever heard someone do that. So kudos to you, because that would help out a lot in a lot of situations. Which actually, I want to have you think here for a moment, and I want you to think about what are the biggest branding mistakes you see entrepreneurs making today.
I'm not here to offend anybody. But in my
This is
opinion,
a real show. I want people to
you
actually learn
asked
from
me,
the experts, you know?
and you asked me, I'm getting used to AI, but I can easily tell when a logo has been created through AI or ChatGPT, right? And some of them I've seen, they're pretty cool, but I mean, a lot of them look very foreign to me, and that's how I could tell, right? You have designers and creators that create, and their education was in India, or you have designers and creators in New York. You have designers and creators, in the East Coast, in the West Coast. You have, so there's different styles to everything, but the computer generated, that is, I think, like, it's a great way to get the gears in your head going as to
Get
where
the
you're
idea,
gonna go.
right? Get the concept.
Yeah, it
somewhat
gives you like a
developed.
really good,
Yes.
I like that, I don't like that. And that really helps me, because the more someone comes to me and tells me, I like these colors, this is my inspiration. I always tell people before they come to me, before I create a brand new logo, because they're just starting, we're going to actually brand them. A lot of people, I would say 75% of the people that come to me already have their logo, but 25 don't even know. So I always tell them, go to Pinterest, get some inspiration, make a board. I need to see what you like, what your style is, because my best and my good and my style is different than your best, your good, and your style, right? I might think you need colors. You might think I only like blue. And so if you come to me with, oh, I like this, I like these colors, here's a couple business cards I really, really like, I can definitely work with that, and we can thrive with that. That helps me, because I can't read minds. We can't read minds.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So and again, everybody has their own style. I mean, I am on my thread, my SEO, definitely when on my Alex Reyes Ink Instagram, everything that pops up on there is like design, color, how to make color, calligraphy, fonts, so I'm surrounding myself with that. So my creative juices are always flowing. And if that is not something you're always looking at or studying, you have no clue. You don't even know. Some people don't even know what a font is. And a font is the way a letter looks. Like on the top of this video, it says the Upland Forum. That is a font, right? Your name, Carlos A. Garcia, that is a different font. There's script, there's old E. Everybody knows old E, but there's thousands and thousands, and then daily new fonts are being created. So that's just the wild, wild west of fonts. And then colors, wild, wild west of colors. Years ago, I did get to work with Wiener Schnitzel, and their colors are yellow, white, and Wiener Schnitzel red. It's not just primary color red. It's their very special Pantone that we are. If you don't know what Pantone is it's like a code for a color. So it could be like 7994C. And to me, that's how I make the color, right? That I add some white, some yellow, and a little bit of black to make that pasty yellow color. But anyways, it's a formula. So they had a special Pantone color that we had to make every single, like stir. We're stirring. We're adding all the red, a little bit of yellow. I can't give you all of it, but we're stirring, making it, and then we can print it. So everybody also has their own color. That's why it's important to me that you have your own color. I see you like this green, but I see, one green up here, one green over here. We need to keep it all. It looks good though, because you are using all different shades of green, in everything. And I like it. It's very earthy. So when I see your stuff, it's earthy.
Yeah, and that's the different shades of green are on purpose for a reason. And as you get to know, we already know, even like with my logo, I'm very particular, like you're talking about. There's a specific type of red that I use for my logo. Black is black, but there's other components to it that I'm very specific about that I don't want to change. Period. But I know we're kind of running out of time a little bit, but I want to ask you some two other additional key questions. You're in an industry that's male dominated, and that's really the truth. So what advice would you give to women entrepreneurs trying to find their voice in their own industry?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what helped me is experience being around, because of what I do, because I am a business owner. I'm invited to events where there's predominantly more men than women. I study the room. I listen. I see how men talk to each other. I can't come in now I can because people know me. But before, I used to read books. I used to read books on how to be present with different types of people, different cultures, more men, more women. So I kind of have to be a chameleon wherever I go. Sometimes I'm quiet and I'm just listening. Sometimes I'm loud and I'm laughing and I'm having a good time. It really depends. And this, where you're going, what room you're walking into, and who you might expect to be there. You definitely do have to create your tone and your mood for wherever you're going to be in that place. With men, you listen. Men, they like to talk about what they have. They like to talk about what they do. Men are easy creatures. They truly are, and that's what I've learned.
Hey now.
They are. They're very.
Not everybody. Come on.
They don't require a lot like women. Women, we require a lot more. We're very emotional. Men, they're very business, and I could relate to that, and I think that's why I am able to be in a room and hold my own. I do need to learn golf though. This is something I need to learn.
You and me both, for sure.
Right? Then I can talk golf too.
Well, any last parting words, Alex?
No, if you guys are interested in seeing what I am capable of, and you'd like to see some of the projects that I've worked on, please go to my Instagram, which is at Alex Reyes Ink, and that's INK, because I print on everything. Not only, I know we talked about apparel, but I do provide embroidery, which is threading on clothes, banners, signs, stickers, paper printing. So I do a lot of physical promotional things, and I can help you out with your design as well.
And her website is on there too, so make sure you follow her.
Yes. My website is on there, which is so lovely, and then that's easy to remember if you're looking for me on social media or on Instagram.
Well, folks, that was a powerful conversation with our very own Alex Reyes. If you are a business here in Upland and would love to come on the show, I would love to spotlight you as well, so you can be another wealth of resource for our local business community. Remember that branding is not just about how something looks, it's about who you are, what you stand for, and how clearly you communicate that to the world. So if you are serious about sharpening your message and building something meaningful, Take the time to define your identity with intention, and that's key. So you can learn more about Alex and her work at alexreyesink.com. This has been another episode of the Upland Forum, where we highlight leaders who are building impact through purpose. I am Carlos Garcia, and I will see you guys next time.